Hi, welcome to part 2 of our 3-part series on training for retirement and what we're doing to get ready for retirement. Hopefully that interests you, and if it does, stay tuned and we're going to tell you some stuff. Hi, I'm Jeff.
I'm Sonny.
And welcome to our groovy adventure. Yes?
It's just what a groovy adventure of what?
Of our life and what we're going to do.
Getting ready for retirement.
Right.
Retirement reimagined.
Okay.
They need to know what the groovy adventure is?
Well, that's part of the adventure, not knowing.
Oh, right.
Girls. Anyway, this is part 2 of our retirement training series that we're doing. Our first was sort of generally touched on financial training for retirement. And so now we're going to talk about physical training.
What we did and
Yes, and why we decided we needed to do physical training. I think it started back when we made our first trip to Portugal. I was about 4 months out from my last knee replacement when we went. And we did a lot of walking.
Yeah, we averaged, 7 or 8 miles a day?
7 or 8 miles a day.
Which is a lot for Americans.
Yes, and there's a lot of hills in Portugal, and a lot of cobblestones. And, like I said, I was 4 months out from a knee replacement. I was a little wobbly when I got there, but when we left 2 weeks later, they were strong. But, walking up some of those Lisbon hills.
I was convinced he was trying to kill me.
Especially up some of those Lisbon hills.
Yes.
Huffing and puffing and thinking, man, we look like fat, lazy Americans. We need to do something about this.
Yes.
So, when we got back, we started walking. And as my knees got better, we decided, we need to get in the gym.
Yeah. Which was something I never did.
Yeah.
I hated exercise.
I got to tell you, most of my life, I've spent most of my life pretty active. I used to play lots of tennis and baseball or softball and golf and racquetball and you name it. Had a ball and something to hit it with or catch it. I was doing it, but to be in the gym was not my thing. That's why I tried to stay active, because I figured I could just be active instead. And I tried to out-active my diet. And that didn't work either.
No.
So all those years I spent doing all those things, I just kept getting more weight on me and tore up my knees pretty bad. And so now I've got 2 new knees and many other joints that have had issues because of it. So
now I have to get in shape to keep up with him.
Right.
So now this girl who never exercised, never did much physically. I mean, every once in a while I'd play some softball or I'd do some things. I'd go for a walk or a hike, but typically it was not anything exhausting. I never broke a sweat. But once we went to Portugal and came back, I was like, oh my God, I have got to get in shape.
Yeah, because we wanted to retire there originally, and thought, man, if we're going to live over here, we got to get in shape. So
for 2 reasons. One, because I didn't want to be that fat American that everybody looked at and said, look at that fat American, can't make it up the hill. And 2, I also didn't want to be that girl or that lady who has fallen and can't get up.
Right.
So I decided it was time to start training for retirement.
And they always talk about in all these retirement videos we watch about the go-go years and the slow-go years and the no-go years. And we hear a lot of talking about, you don't know how long your go-go years are going to be, but nobody ever talks about maybe figuring out a way to extend those years. So we thought,
how to get ready for them.
Yeah, maybe we should see if we can get our go-go years to be longer. I mean, it's sort of like investing. You put more into it now, and you get greater return later. Nothing's guaranteed. I could walk out and get hit by a bus, but the chances of me having more go-go years are much increased if we start exercising and getting in shape now and eating right.
And we decided that we should do it before we retired. One, so we could take advantage of some health insurance that I have,
Right. So I got my new knees.
in case we need that, and yeah, we definitely needed that. And just let the insurance pay for some of this stuff that once I retire, we're not going to have as good of health insurance. We're still going to have health insurance, but maybe not as good. So it was good to take advantage of that.
And also some of the benefits, not just extending your go-go years. It's so you have better balance and you can catch yourself. As you get older, that's what most people, they end up falling and breaking a hip and ending up in the hospital and dying. So the better your balance and the stronger your legs, the better your chances of preventing that or surviving something like that.
And being more physically active helps with sleep, which is where the body does its repairing. So it's good to have a good sleep, and so that we can be strong.
Right. And it in terms of investment, could save you on doctor bills later. So it just seems like it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. So that's why we decided to start the physical training, and then we had to sit down and figure out, how do we do this?
How and what sort of things we need to do. So, of course, first of all is diet. Because like I said, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. So you got to start with what you eat. And
which we started years ago, for the most part, eating pretty well.
pretty clean.
Because I thought, well, shoot, I can eat clean and I don't have to exercise. That didn't work.
I think the other part of that, though, is it's sort of like, I keep bringing it back to like investing, like finances. When we started budgeting our finances, we started realizing where money was going and how much money we actually had. And I think with diet, I've been tracking, what I eat with a calorie and protein tracking app. And I feel like that's made a huge difference, because if we were eating well, but we were eating probably more than we should be. So now that I kind of see where all that's going, it's made a big difference. It's like, oh, I really don't need to have this snack or whatever. So I think that's an important thing. If I would suggest something to someone just starting out, I'd say get an app that tracks all that stuff and do it. Be honest and track it religiously.
Because it was an eye-opener for me, because I maybe have potato chips with my lunch maybe a little less than I did before. I didn't cut this stuff out completely because I enjoy those things, but I noticed that that's a lot of carbs. Maybe I don't need it every single day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And the things that we're tracking mostly are the carbs, the fats, and the proteins.
Yeah, and we're not getting rid of carbs. We're not getting rid of fats. But the priority is protein, because we're trying to put on muscle. Because muscle's very important, it turns out.
Yes, but I don't think of it as an actual. I mean, it's our diet, but it's not a diet.
Right.
I think of it as
it's
just
the
eating.
way we eat. Although we've been in the gym religiously for 9 months or something.
6 months.
6 months, and putting on muscle. Actually, we can tell we're putting on muscle. Yeah, see? The guns are out. Sun's out, guns out. But for this current 2 months that we're in, we decided to do a cut. That's what all the cool kids call it, where you reduce your calories, you try to drop some weight. So we've been losing fat. That feels good. So we're gonna do that for a couple months, and then we're gonna get back to once it's cold outside and we don't want to go out and walk and everything, we'll get back to building the muscles.
But it's important to keep these macronutrients in your diet. Just watch them so that they're not too much in your diet, because fats are important, for regulating hormones and helping you, which like insulin is a hormone, testosterone, estrogen, those things. You got to have fats to keep those hormones being made.
Now, we're not experts in this, although you do have like some certification,
In nutrition.
So she's a little bit of an expert.
No, I know a little.
Yeah.
So fats are important. Proteins are important, like he said, for building muscle. And actually those carbohydrates are important too, because you got to have the fuel to run that body. So that's where we've tracked those three things.
I'm an expert in that I've worked with a bunch of trainers and a lot of physical therapists because I spent a lot of time in physical therapy. So I do know a little bit about exercise from that point of view. And most of them all say that you need to have carbs like before and after a workout because that's the fuel that get you through the workout, and it keeps you from building or keeps you from burning the protein, which you need to keep the protein to build the muscles. Probably more than you need to know or wanted to know, but now you know. Yeah. So speaking of building the muscle, exercise, the important parts that we're finding to the exercises, the first one is resistance training, building those muscles. Because you need more muscle mass as you get older. I guess I think you were telling me that we don't lose muscle mass just because we get older. We lose muscle mass because we stop doing things.
Mm-hmm. Stop lifting the kids. You stop, working, or you stop doing these things, and you plop yourself in a chair in front of the TV, and that's when the muscle mass goes down. It's not because you're old.
Well, the other part of that is, I know, at least for men, I saw somewhere there was a study done and it showed that a 60-year-old man in the 80s had as much testosterone as a 24-year-old man does today. So there's something going on with our testosterone. So you need to do whatever you can to build up that testosterone, whether that's testosterone therapy, eating right. As you resistance train, that helps you create more testosterone. Mm-hmm. So that's an important thing to think about.
And muscle mass also helps regulate insulin and glucose, so that the body is not just storing it all as fat. So that muscle mass is important, and that's where the resistance training comes in.
And it helps prevent injury and keeps you strong and keeps your balance good. And so as you get older, you don't hurt yourself.
So we're in the gym 3 days a week, hour at a time ish.
At least, yeah.
And so we're getting ready so we can be strong and we can get our bodies in good shape so that we can walk around and.
Although I tell her, round is a shape.
I'm trying to not be round.
So the other part is cardio. Cardio sounds painful to me, but mostly if you get out and walk, you try to get like 7 to 10,000 steps a day. Get that watch, so you're tracking your steps.
That's what we've been doing.
And and then do other activities. Like if you like to ride a bike or golf or swim or whatever it is, just anything to get yourself moving more. I think we have a tendency, especially in this country, just to kind of, you go to work, come home, and then sit on the couch and veg out. So that's not good for you. You need to get up and move more. And
I used to let work be an excuse because I just worked a 12-hour shift. I don't want to go walk. I don't want to go home and do it. I just want to go home and sit. I don't want to have to go do anything.
And drink wine.
Maybe a little. You make me sound like an alcoholic.
Going back to the diet, we've cut out a lot of alcohol. Not that we drank a lot of alcohol, but
we've cut it.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing too. There's a lot of you don't want to drink your calories. So yeah.
Because that's empty nutrients.
Yeah.
As pleasurable as it can be.
And I think a lot of people think, wow, this is a drink. I'm not getting any calories out of this. But yeah, you get a lot of calories out of it.
That's where that tracker comes
So
in.
yeah, I honestly cannot tell you the last time I had a soda pop.
Oh, me neither.
We drink kombucha now.
Yes.
We're kind of hippies that way.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah. So that's cardio.
Oh, and I read the other day
Uh-oh.
that walking also improves couples' relationship because it gives them time to bond and talk about things, and it's just improvement on the relationship as well. Just a side note.
That sounds like it was written by a woman. It was good for our relationship, and we were bonding and talking.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. Yeah. So
What else have we added besides walking? Tennis.
tennis, which
I've been
which
getting
is, brings us
back into
to
tennis.
the next little part of it, and this is something until recently I had never heard anybody talking about this, but I've been seeing more and more about it, talking about working on your fast twitch muscles. And I mean, if you don't know, fast twitch are the muscles that make you move quickly. Sprinters have strong fast twitch muscles, and I'd never heard about it before, but it makes sense because as you get older, you need those fast twitch muscles because it helps. You know, if you stumble, you can quickly get your feet back under you and keep yourself from falling. We were in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and we saw this firsthand. There was an older gentleman walking across the street in a crosswalk, and he got about a third of the way, and I didn't see what he tripped on, but he stumbled. And he stumbled all the way across, almost made it to the other side before he fell flat on his face, a big gash on his head. And he just couldn't get his feet fast enough to get under him again to stop himself. So
He was almost there.
he
almost caught
made
himself.
it. Yeah. It was something to see.
Yeah.
So you really, that's something you really need to focus on. That's something that I've been starting to add more to my workouts, is trying to get those fast twitch. But there's a lot of sports and stuff that are good for that too. If you just want to go out and play, they said that the best sport is tennis.
Was listed as the healthiest sport.
Yeah. I saw several studies recently that came out that said that tennis players, they tracked people for like 25 to 30 years and all the activities they did, and the tennis players lived about on average 9 years longer than any of the other groups, and they had significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease. So, which is good. I'm a tennis player, so that's good. If tennis is like the learning curve's too much for you, there's things like pickleball and things like that. So, so that's definitely something to think about. Is we're really concentrating on working on those fast twitch muscles. So we get out and play tennis and. Sorry. Yeah, and play tennis and box jumps and do whatever you can to get those feet moving quick.
Yep. Skipping, hopping.
Yeah, you should see me skip. It's fabulous.
So I added just recently the box jumps because I was like, there's no way that this girl is going to be able to jump, get any air underneath her feet. Maybe an inch is what I thought. So I looked at that and I'm like, I can't do this.
It was a 6-inch box, and she's worried that she wasn't going to be able to jump up on it.
I was going to trip on it. And I was watching this guy next to me. He's doing box jumps, and he's jumping up. Let's see, he had the 36, and then he had the 20 on top of that. So he was box jumping 56 inches and made it look like he just like landed up there like a little deer. He just made it look so simple. And I'm like, okay. I gotta do this. I gotta see if I can do it. So I went over to the 6-inch thinking, okay, I'm nervous, but I can do it. And I jumped on the 6-inch, went, what was I thinking? That was so easy. So then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the 12-inch. But I said, Jeff, come and catch me in case I fall. So come and stand behind me and let me see if I can do it.
Right.
And I did.
Yeah.
And
Not
you
so bad.
said I cleared it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't trip. I didn't fall. I did 3 box jumps. I didn't jump back down. I stepped back down, being mindful of my joints. And but yeah, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
There was like a little bit of hang time at the top. It was impressive.
Right. Woo. I'll be playing basketball with Michael Jordan before you know it.
Right. Yeah, now that he's old and fat.
So that's what we're doing as far as that part goes. That's the why we did it, the how we are doing it. What else?
Is when.
When?
Like right now. Start. Go.
Well, before we did. This would have been a whole lot easier if we'd started a long time ago and just been physically fit all along.
Yeah. But I mean, surprisingly enough, I mean, we've been hitting it hard for the last 6 months and seeing a lot of improvement. The key is just to keep doing it. Because it works. It's not like, oh, well, it only doesn't work for me. No, it works for everybody. You just have to stick with it.
And you have to do it. You can't just pretend to do it like I was. Like, I've been going to the gym for probably a good year and a half. But when I went before, I was just going maybe 1-2 times a week. And I said, I'm not spending any more than 20 minutes in that gym. I'm not doing it. I can't do that. So what kind of workout was I really getting? So once we really hit that.
Sometimes she actually says, oh, I can't wait to get to the gym today.
I know. Who said that? Those words that never would have come out of my mouth. Now they come out and I'm like, where'd that come from? Who am I?
Who was it?
So yes, definitely start sooner, because this would be a whole lot easier on both of us.
Yeah.
If we had started sooner.
I think too many people are going into retirement thinking, well, when I retire, I'm going to have all kinds of time to work out. All right, man, it might be too late by then. You know, yeah. I mentioned in another video that my dad worked all his life and retired at 65, thinking he was going to travel around, and 6 months later he was dead, never did any of that stuff. So, and it was mostly because he didn't take care of himself. He was out of shape. He fell, hurt his back, and it just went downhill from there. So, Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Do it now.
And it's not as bad as you think it is. Getting in that gym is kind of fun. It's kind of, I feel like I'm investing in myself and giving myself that me time, and I'm just.
The worst part for me is like driving to the gym, thinking, don't do this. But then once you start working out, and you're like, oh, you're feeling good, you're getting pumped, and then afterwards you feel so good about yourself because you went in and did it. So yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Did you just hear me? I said I'm liking it.
See,
I do. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm having a good time doing it.
People can change.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's the end of part 2 of physical training. Stay tuned for part 3. We're going to talk about the mental training involved in getting ready for retirement. So
yes,
don't forget to hit like if you liked it. You don't have to hit like if you don't want to hit like, but hit like if you feel good about it. Subscribe so you can know that part 3 is coming out.
And
hit the little notification bell so you know it comes out.
Yeah, follow us and see how we do on this journey. We're just starting out with it. We don't know a lot. We're researching it, and
let us know how these videos are coming along. Yeah. If we're getting better
or worse.
Yeah. And all right. So.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Huevos rancheros.
That was long.
That's what she said.